So I know a lot of us opened bank accounts when we started university, and chances are you're probably just going to continue using it into your work life. But if you have not thought about it, maybe consider opening a young professional's bank account. This is just because there are so many more benefits and perks that you will get access to as a working professional, and basically it's highly discounted. So you are paying like half the price that other people are paying for private banking.
My name is Nobuhle Kumalo and I'm a personal finance creator. Some of the videos I've made include how to buy shares, top 10 affordable cars, how to file your taxes, side hustles, interviews, you name it, I've done it. Note, these videos do not constitute financial advice. My aim is to plant the idea, it's up to you to water it.
So a couple of years ago, I did a video on young professionals' bank accounts where I kind of explained what they were, and I thought it would be fitting for me to do an updated version of young professionals' bank accounts. So I have been using a young professionals' bank account for the last 5 years, and obviously there are a lot more perks that I am enjoying now that I didn't know when I initially signed up. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if I do leave something out or if you have a different experience, please do make sure you leave us a comment down below. You will definitely be helping someone who is trying to make a decision about whether to change their banking profile or not. And before I forget, this video does not constitute financial advice. I'm just telling you what I've experienced one friend to another, and my job is always to plant the idea. It's up to you to water it. All right, let's get into the video. What is a young professional's bank account? These are bank accounts that banks have specifically tailored for people who are usually under 30, and basically they will give you as a young professional access to all these private banking benefits which you wouldn't have ordinarily experienced if you were on a normal type of bank account. So I know a lot of us opened bank accounts when we started university, and chances are you're probably just going to continue using it into your work life. But if you have not thought about it, maybe consider opening a young professional's bank account. This is just because there are so many more benefits and perks that you will get access to as a working professional, and basically it's highly discounted. So you are paying like half the price that other people are paying for private banking, and the reason that the banks do this is because they believe in you and they believe in your career trajectory. So it's usually for specific careers like your doctors, your chartered accountant trainees, your actuaries, pilots, and all of that. But what I want to say, guys, is don't let those requirements scare you, okay? I know people who obviously saw the list and they're like, oh, I don't fit into any of these degrees, or oh, I don't actually meet the salary requirements. Just apply anyways. Apply anyways, because you know sometimes they're just trying to, you know, scare away people, but they do actually accept other people. And I know I was not earning within that bracket as a CA trainee, so it's like, why would you put this when you know a lot of us are not earning this? But guys, if you want to do it, do it. And if you specifically want to be using Investec, which is what I'm using, I have left a link in my description box that should help you apply. But this video is about general young professionals accounts across multiple banks, because your Standard Bank offers them, ABSA, FNB, they might call them different things, and there might be certain tweaks here and there. But I will be giving you a summary at the end of this video with a nice table that you can take a screenshot of just so you can compare well. The only reason I chose Investec back then was because it was exclusive in my head. I didn't know anyone who banked in Investec in my family, so I was like, you know, I want to be the first one. So if you are also going to be like me, I do have the link in the description box, so make sure you click on that and my private banker will reach out. Okay. General perks that people like young professional bank accounts about, and I mentioned this in the previous video, but it's things like the status and the bragging rights, okay? Saying you have a private banker, or, you know, even accessing the airport lounges, okay? When you're traveling and now you can get free food and drinks and alcohol. Like, it's like a buffet. You eat and drink as much as you want and you don't pay anything just because you're like a private client. Sign me up, okay? Especially if you're in your traveling area. There's also the fact that you get favorable rates. So a lot of us are going to try buy cars and sometimes houses as you start working, and unfortunately not everyone will have a credit profile, because you know a lot of us just focused on the books and forgot to build credit profiles. No one really told us. So you'll find that when you are trying to buy a car or a house, other banks will charge you incredibly high rates because they can't trust you. Your credit score is non-existent, whereas a young professional's account will say, listen, we know you, we understand that, you know, someone who's in this profession is more likely to, you know, not default on their payments, so we'll give you this car or we'll give you this house at a favorable rate. So that's what really attracted me to this thing, and that's what attracts a lot of us. If you're watching this and you're already over 30 and you're like, oh, I can never get a young professional's bank account, yeah, you can't get a young professional's, but you can still get a private banker. You can still get like all of these perks. You just have to pay more. But what I can say is, as someone who has experienced these benefits at such a young age, I definitely don't mind paying for them. Like, I'm ready, okay? I'm not suddenly gonna tell my banker, this is where the story ends, this is where our road ends, just because the price goes up. No, it's okay. I know what you're gonna give me. I know value for money, so keep me on. But as someone who has been banking for the last 5 years with a private banker, let me tell you some of the things that I actually enjoy. Obviously, the stuff above, I count, but I actually feel like my private banker or my private banking solution actually cares about me as an individual. And this is because of 3 main things. So firstly, when I was trying to buy a car back in 2020, I remember I had a specific car I wanted in mind, and my private banker said, all right, draw up a budget. This is how much you're earning. Draw up a budget of how you're going to allocate these expenses. I drew up a budget, and obviously, I guess when my private banker reviewed this, they were like, this girl is dreaming, because I think I put like 200 rand for fuel in my budget, because obviously I didn't have these details. I didn't know how much fuel was going to cost me, okay? I didn't know I was going to be pouring 500 rand per week. But basically my private banker was like, no, I don't think you can afford this car based on this budget. You're going to struggle. You're going to, find yourself not having a lot of money at the end of the month. Maybe let's look for something a bit smaller, like this, like this, like this. Obviously, I thought I was smart, so I was like, you know what, buzz off. I don't even know you, okay? I literally just signed into this bank like a month ago. I don't know you. You can't tell me what I can and can't afford. So I went and I bought the car that I wanted, separately from a different bank, and they charged me sky high interest rate, but I didn't care. As long as I had my car, it was automatic, and I had all the nice things that I wanted, I was happy. This did not last long, because a year and a half later, I realized that actually I really signed into a really trash deal. The interest was disgusting. I was paying so much, but like my balance was not doing anything. And then I, went back to my private bank and I was like, knock, knock, let's talk. I wanna see if I can't, come back here. And we spoke, and I told them that actually I don't even like the car I'm driving. I'm trying to get a Polo, and they were like, okay, no problem. This is what you can do. Look for this, look for this. This is how much we can pre-approve you for. And it was just so smooth, and like they're like, okay, do your budget again. And this time, because I knew the budget was coming, I was ready. I was like, okay, this is my trainee salary, but this is my YouTube salary, and this, and they were like, got you. So yeah, I really felt like had I listened to them back in 2020, I would have saved a good 90,000 rand, but it's okay. It was an expensive mistake, but I learned my lesson. The second reason I think that they care about me is because when we were working abroad, there were times where we'd get money from like an international company, and then you'd have to convert it. So the Reserve Bank requires you to declare any amounts that you receive from foreign payees. So we had to declare this, but the thing is, sometimes it took so long. So sometimes you had to wait like a day or 2 days. And I remember there was a time where we were flying to Australia, and a lot of us were expecting the money to arrive as we arrived in Australia. So obviously on the plane you can't really use your internet, but as we landed, the hotel we were going to stay at said we have to put down a certain deposit down, like for our hotel, as security. And it was like, oh my goodness, we did not really anticipate that we had to put this amount of money down. And they were like, put down a credit card, and like, I don't know, a lot of us didn't have credit cards, so it was like, but we had been paid. So we all actually individually emailed our private bankers. We all had different private bankers. Obviously some of us shared some, but we were like, hey, this is what's happening, please can you expedite the conversion of the money, because usually it takes a day or 2. But when we emailed them, literally I think it was still 3 a.m. in South Africa. By the time my private banker woke up around like 5:30 a.m, he had already tried to process my thing, and by the time I got to the hotel in Australia, I was able to put down that deposit. So I really felt like they cared. The fact that they knew I was traveling, because obviously you put it on the app that I will be traveling, so that they don't block international payments, but also like how he prioritized my stuff, and like the others also prioritized it. And then lastly, the reason I feel like my bank cares because of my private banking is because they offered us recently free life cover of up to 25,000 rand, and you pay 0 rand. Not up to, sorry, it is 25,000 rand. But anyways, I just felt like this was so cool and so important, because a lot of young people don't really know what type of policies you should be getting. We are not really sure if life policy is a thing that we should do or not. So having a bank that says, listen, don't pay us anything, just click and say yes, you want it for free, 0 rand, we'll give it to you. And I was like, why would I say no? Obviously, touch wood, touch wood, I am not trying to die. My life is worth more than 25,000 rand, so I hopefully will not have to use that. Alright, now that I'm done with the caring portion, let me get into some of the other great perks that you get as a private client. So this might differ. Again, I'm speaking towards Investec because that's what I have knowledge on, but if you're with the other banks, please do let us know in the comments because I know people will really enjoy hearing about it. So with Investec, when new gadgets come out, you usually get like on the priority list. I remember when the iPhone 15 came out, there was a thing of if you buy it online and you use your Investec card to pay for it, your purchase will be put on a priority list. Basically, you will get it. And this is really important because sometimes these things come limited and it's like first come, first serve. But knowing that just because I swiped that card, my purchase is going to be pushed up. Sign me up. Okay. I also think this might also work for like things like your PlayStation. I know my little brother was trying to buy a PlayStation. There was a long waiting list, so I'm not sure if it applied, but I would imagine that, you know, if you were a gamer, this is something you could have asked for. Another great perk is the points to cash. So a lot of banks actually do this where every time you swipe, you earn a portion back from whatever you swiped. But like with my Investec rewards, I have bought so many things, guys. I have bought books, I've bought shoes, I have booked flights. I've also even paid off my car, like additional payments using their own rewards. And I always think my private banker probably has such a chuckle when they watch my transactions, when they look at my statement, like, look at this girl. We gave her points, she converted them into money, and then she spent this money back. She sent it back to us to pay off the car that she bought through us. Like, it's like I'm giving them back their own money, okay? It's girl math. I have not lost any money. They gave me money and I sent it back to them, and I'm still keeping the assets. Come on, guys, come on. Also, another perk is like obviously doing your passports. When we were going abroad, like I needed to do my passports, and I know I've heard rumors about like home affairs and the lines and all that, but I would be lying if I said I could relate because I have not set foot in a home affairs in my entire life. Actually, I did my ID in school, and then I did my passport at my bank. So, and that took like 15 minutes. And the reason it took 15 minutes is because I wanted to touch up like my makeup because I needed to look cute on my passport photo, and unfortunately I did not look cute. But that's a story for another day. And then lastly, if you are looking for things like your networking events, private clients will get invited to things like golf tournaments and dinners. I unfortunately didn't really attend these. I think I was deep in a busy season, like I had so much work to do, so I could never really attend. But if you have the time and this is your vibe, definitely something that you can do. You know, rubbing shoulders with other people who are private clients. You never know, your next founder might be there, your next big break might be there. So I like that. Okay, and the last point of this all is that I think I also have a really great relationship with my private bankers. I'm gonna say bankers because I have a main private banker, and then obviously as they get trainees or like new people working, I'll get like someone else allocated as they're coaching them. And you know, it sucks, oh my word, because I wish people didn't have to leave. And I know sometimes you will get like a private banker change because obviously people get promoted, guys. They're also at work. Your private banker is not just there to, you know, support you in your little dreams. They also have their own dreams, so they obviously work up the ranks. But I'm so grateful because my private banker has retained me throughout. Literally, they've held my hand throughout, and I know they've been promoted, they've moved up the ranks, but they're still holding me. And I just want to say, girl, you know, keep at it. I promise I'm gonna make it worth your while. Okay, I'm gonna make us rich, so keep me. But also the other like consultants, the other junior people who were helping me, such incredible people, guys. I know, like, oh my word, you know, when I wrote my book, when I released my book, okay, my private banker, I told my private banker in passing, my private banker set up a meeting for me with someone else in one of the other departments in that same company, and they're like, oh listen, maybe there's something that we can work with you. They're also trying to see if they can help me with anything, like is there any support that I need. And I was like, oh my goodness, they even wanted to help me like in their personal capacity. And I was like, my word, this is so reassuring because I was taking quite a big leap and leaving my stable job. So it was like, wow, my private banker actually believes in me. Okay, so that was also like really reassuring. And even if they get paid for this, I don't feel like they get paid. I feel like those are my besties. Okay, they have my best interests at heart. Okay, And obviously, because I have to be fair in this, let me tell you some of the downsides of a young professional's bank account. So firstly, once you're over the age of 30, your price increases. It literally doubles. And I know people have complained. People are like, oh no, but you know, it's to each their own. Like I said, even when the price doubles, I'm still gonna stay on because yeah, they've really helped me, guys. Another second downside is that there are usually no physical branches for some of these banks. So like for Investec, there's no physical branch. I know Discovery is also quite, you know, coming up in the market, but there's no physical branch for those, or there are very few, like it might just be in Joburg or one in Cape Town. So if you're someone who likes walking into the bank, like my grandfather who used to go every 3 days because he wanted to see the balance by the teller, then you know, maybe private banking won't be for you. But I am someone who again loves everything online. I do my groceries online, I buy clothes online, so it works for me a lot. Okay, but yeah guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please do tip me with a like. Okay, this also tells YouTube that you guys are actually enjoying my content and I can continue to create more. And if you would love to join the Investec Young Professionals, make sure you do use the link in my description box. It'll take you to a landing page, which is like we'll say Noguhle has invited you, because obviously you guys are my friends. Are you not? Yeah, but also that my private bank can actually reach out to you guys. Okay, again, remember, young professionals accounts are usually the same across all banks. I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.